Again, what was the word for more?
Πιο
Πιο. And close?
κοντά.
Κοντά. More close or closer?
Πιο κοντά.
Πιο κοντά. If we want to say more sugar, we can't use πιο because πιο is used with other describing words. So like more close, πιο κοντά, more good or better, πιο καλό, πιο καλά. But we won't use πιο with nouns, words we put the or a in front of. So we won't use πιο to say more sugar. And we also won't use it with verbs. So we won't use πιο to say, for example, I sleep more, I try more. So πιο just with other describing words. Otherwise, we use something else. We've seen briefly che άλλο, che ali, and other. We can use this for more. We could also use πιο πολύ for more. And we also have περισσότερο. That's the neuter, of course. We could have περισσότεροι, περισσότερος, etc. Περισσότερος.
Περισσότερος.
So we have a long word. The first thing we should do is not get intimidated by it, but try to split it up and see what we recognize. So what do we recognize in περισσότερος?
There's peri.
Peri, good. Anything else? Otteros?
I don't know.
How do you say good? What is the word for good?
Kalos.
And more good? Better, but there's one word.
Kaliteros.
It's the same. Iteros, otteros.
Φτηνό,
we had, for example, cheap φτηνότερος. So actually, we have the otteros there as well with this kind of more feeling. So even the word for more, περισσότερος, this word for more, when we're not referring to another adjective, has the ending meaning more as well, that otteros, teros ending, peri, which you recognized as well. So looking at what we recognize there helps us digest a new word, περισσότερος. So this is more when we aren't referring to another describing word. So if you want to say more sugar,
περισσότερη ζάχαρη.
περισσότερη ζάχαρη. And we could also have πιο πολύ ζάχαρη instead of περισσότερη, but not πιο by itself, no? Πιο πολύ, more a lot. Do you want more sugar?
Θέλεις περισσότερη ζάχαρη.
Θέλεις περισσότερη ζάχαρη. Θες, we could also say θες, it's this contraction of θέλεις, that's very common. Θες περισσότερη ζάχαρη. You could also say κι άλλη ζάχαρη and another sugar, just use like more. Θες περισσότερη ζάχαρη, κι άλλη ζάχαρη, πιο πολύ ζάχαρη. How would you say more coffee?
Περισσότερος καφές.
Περισσότερος καφές. You want a little more coffee?
Θέλεις περισσότερο καφέ.
Good. Θέλεις περισσότερο καφέ. And if you wanted to stress a little more, you could also say
Θες λίγο περισσότερο καφέ.
good. Θες λίγο περισσότερο καφέ. And how would you say, do you want a little more? Referring to the coffee. So imagine you're pouring somebody a coffee and you say, do you want a little more?
Θες λίγο περισσότερο.
Very good. Θες λίγο περισσότερο. And what gender is λίγο in?
It's neuter.
It's neuter, no? Because it's a little more. It's referring to περισσότερο, another describing word. So we go into the neuter. Λίγο. And what gender is περισσότερο in? When you say θες λίγο περισσότερο and you mean coffee?
Masculine.
It's the masculine, no? Even though they look the same. Θες λίγο περισσότερο. So for more, we have πιο if we're referring to another describing word, πιο μακριά, πιο κοντά, πιο κουρασμένος, or otherwise περισσότερο for more. And we also saw that we can use πιο πολύ and also και άλλο, και άλλη to mean more. How is you try?
Προσπαθείς.
Προσπαθείς. And what is the closed version of προσπαθείς?
Προσπαθήσεις.
Προσπαθήσεις. Good. With these verbs that have the accent on the end, we can get the closed version by inserting this is. No? Προσπαθώ, προσπαθήσω, προσπαθείς, προσπαθήσεις. So that's you try. You have to try more. Like you have to make more of an effort.
Πρέπει να προσπαθήσεις περισσότερο.
Good. Πρέπει να προσπαθήσεις περισσότερο. So you use the closed version there, προσπαθήσεις, which makes sense because when we say περισσότερο, we don't mean more often. We mean you have to make more of an effort. You have to try more. You could even say πρέπει να προσπαθήσεις κι άλλο. So this και άλλο expression is very flexible, this and another, to say more. Πρέπει να προσπαθήσεις κι άλλο. You have to eat more.
Πρέπει να φας περισσότερο.
Πρέπει να φας περισσότερο. So if you say πρέπει να φας περισσότερο, it means now you have to eat more, but maybe you could also say πρέπει να τρως περισσότερο, and it would be understood, generally you have to eat more. What was I travel?
Ταξιδεύω.
Ταξιδεύω. You have to travel more.
Πρέπει να ταξιδέψεις περισσότερο.
You could have ταξιδέψεις, like, you have to travel more in order for something, like to achieve something, to learn what you need to better your business or whatever. But otherwise, if we just mean, you should travel more, here we really have the meaning of more often. This is open and ongoing.
Πρέπει να ταξιδεύεις περισσότερο.
Good. Πρέπει να ταξιδεύεις περισσότερο. Very good. And also instead of περισσότερο, you could have πιο πολύ, more very, πιο πολύ as well. So there's quite a few ways to express this idea in Greek. You will hear many. Και άλλο, πιο πολύ, περισσότερο. What do you like more? What pleases you more?
Τι σου αρέσει περισσότερο?
Τι σου αρέσει περισσότερο? So περισσότερο we're using now the neuter in all of these cases. But sometimes περισσότερο might refer to things in the mind of the native. So if somebody says you have to do more, when they say more, in their mind they mean more things. You know this because Greeks will say, what do they say instead of περισσότερο, if they mean things?
Περισσότερα.
Good. So how would that be?
Πρέπει να κάνεις περισσότερα.
Πρέπει να κάνεις περισσότερα. So that could be confusing. You might think, oh, is this one of these like li things? Is this one of these li describing words that don't change? No. And it's actually just that in the mind of the Greek speaker there, when they say you have to do more, they mean more things, περισσότερα. And that refers to περισσότερα πράγματα, more things. So don't let that confuse you if you come across it. What was the word for very?
Πολύ.
Πολύ. How would you say I'm very far away?
Είμαι πολύ μακριά.
Good. I'm very far away from you.
Είμαι πολύ μακριά σου.
Good. Είμαι πολύ μακριά σου. So, πολύ is very or a lot, no? If we say, for example, I like it a lot.
Μου αρέσει πολύ.
Μου αρέσει πολύ. But if πολύ refers to a noun, meaning a lot of or many, it should match that noun. So if you say a lot of sugar,
Πολύ ζάχαρη.
πολύ ζάχαρη, it's already matching, no? But actually the πολύ of a lot and the πολύ of feminine, like in πολύ ζάχαρη, they differentiate by πολύ having two L's and also ending in the feminine ending of πολύ ζάχαρη. We have the feminine ending there, the N that goes below the line. Whereas πολύ of very has one L and has the E sound that is the U when it's by itself, sounding like an E. So it's matching, although you might not hear it. And what if we say many coffees? So coffee was cafés and coffees?
Καφέδες.
Cafedes, very good. So many coffees?
Πολλοί καφέδες.
Πολλοί cafedes. And it's actually still matching because here we write it OI. No? Two L's and OI. So this extra L is just to kind of differentiate it a little more from very, no? When we mean like a lot of or many, we have two L's. Γυναίκα is woman, γυναίκα.
Γυναίκα.
Like in misogynist, no? Woman hater. Miso, I hate. Gynist, gyni, misogyny. Γυναίκα, woman.
Γυναίκα.
And women?
Γυναίκες.
Γυναίκες. Many women?
Πολλές γυναίκες.
Ah, finally we can hear it change, no? Πολλές γυναίκες, good. Many women, πολλές γυναίκες. How would you say many friends? And we mean female friends.
Πολλές φίλες.
Πολλές φίλες. I have many female friends.
Έχω πολλές φίλες.
Έχω πολλές φίλες. I have many friends. And we mean masculine or mixed. I have many friends.
Έχω πολλούς φίλους.
Very good. Έχω πολλούς φίλους. Πολλούς is actually acting like the word for tous. and os nouns. When os nouns are behaving like them rather than they also take us. So I have them, I have many friends, έχω πολλούς φίλους. So although most describing words behave in the same way, or just like nouns do, with some describing words we have to pay special attention and avoid getting automatic. We need to pay attention to when describing words may be referring to things that we don't think they are. No, we might need to take a little more time to actually look, oh, what is that referring to? Is it referring to me because I'm saying I'm a little far? Or is little referring to far rather than to me? So with a couple of describing words, we're going to have to put a little more thought. And we also need to understand that some describing words might not change always in the typical way we expect them to, and might even have different meanings depending on whether they change or not. Like we saw with kalos, kali, etc., meaning good, and then kala, well, which doesn't change. Kondos, kondi, kondo, etc. for short, and then konda, close by. Poli as a word that doesn't change, meaning very, and then when it changes, meaning many or a lot of. So with some words, you won't want to just see one example of it behaving in a way and say, okay, this word behaves like that. No, sometimes it might behave one way when it's doing something and in a different way when it's doing something else.